By the end of this video, you'll learn concrete tips on how to get back on track and stick to your plan. You'll have all the tools you need to restart your routine and get back to achieving your goals. Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Marielle. I'm a corporate working mom with a master's degree in psychology. Here I talk about all things motherhood, work-life balance, productivity, parenting, relationships, and lifestyle, so stick around if you want to see more of that. Whether it's getting back to healthy habits, finally pursuing a passion project, working on your personal development, or starting something new, we all have goals we want to achieve. However, the gap between where we are right now versus where we want to be sometimes can feel so distant or sometimes downright impossible. So today I want to talk about how to get back on track when you've fallen off of your routine and what I do myself that helps me get back on the horse. So without further ado, let's get into the video. First is meal prepping. I love meal prepping because I'm able to save time and energy by batching my cooking. When I meal prep, I also end up with a bunch of dishes that I need to clean up, but it's one and done and I don't need to keep doing it every day. Meal prep also allows me to be more mindful of what I eat instead of grabbing whatever is most convenient at the moment. Exercising. I need to exercise every so often, and I definitely need to move every day. It's not even about looking good for me anymore. It's just become a habit for me that makes me feel good when I do, and makes me feel off when I don't. My body loves being active and thrives off of it, whereas I actually feel more sluggish when I don't. I do different kinds of exercise depending on what I need that day. For instance, I love doing yoga on the days where I'm feeling stiff or need to ground myself. I love doing cardio when I want a boost of energy. Reading. Reading is a non-negotiable for me to quiet my brain at night. It's my sleeping pill. Even just 10 minutes of reading before sleeping helps signal to my body that it's time to unwind and time to sleep. I used to read every morning as well, but this has honestly been a bit of a hit and miss for me these days, but that's okay. Since there are days when I don't have as much time in the morning, I need to make a choice of what I want to do in the menu of my morning routine. Cleaning. I have a weekly cleaning schedule that helps me to stay on top of our home. Since implementing this, it's easier for me to remember what I need to do when. Don't get me wrong though, I'm not able to follow this to a T all the time, but I strive to do as much as I can. I also try to tidy up a little bit here and there throughout the day so that they don't pile up, but it really depends on how busy that day is. And last but not least, planning. Planning my day and my week is essential for me because otherwise I wouldn't know what to do when. Especially as a mom, I have a lot of tabs open in my brain that it gets overwhelming sometimes and hard to keep track. This is why I make sure that I always have lists and planners for everything. And I mean everything. So I don't need to rely so heavily on my brain power alone. Planning is a great tool that helps me maximize my time and effort, and I actually have a video that goes more in depth on this and my daily and weekly routines that I'll link here if you're interested in diving deeper into the topic. Now let's get into some extra tips to get back on track. The first is that it's okay to fall off, you just need to get back on. Everybody has been through this. Everybody who's had any type of routine or any type of schedule has fallen off once or twice or more times than they would like to admit. I have fallen off my routine so many times, I didn't even bother trying to count how many times. But it's completely normal because in life, there's so many things that change. One day is not always going to be the same as the next. You might be doing so well with your routine for months now, or maybe even a year, and then suddenly something happens and then you just fall off. Life just happens sometimes, and there are so many things that we cannot control ourselves that we need to just deal with the things and then get back to the routine again. It doesn't say anything about you when you fall off of your routine. It doesn't mean that you're not a disciplined person. It doesn't mean that you're unproductive. It doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean anything bad about you. It just means that you're human and, life happens to you. Just as it happens to me, just as it happens to everybody else. So it's completely fine, and just be okay, give yourself some grace, and get back to it when you can. The next is to start small. Start with baby steps. I know that when we get so excited, when we have like this new goal, when we have this new motivation to get things going, to get back on track, let's do this, let's go, let's get it. It's so like, yes, like adrenaline's pumping, you know? But really the most sustainable route is to try to start small. And I know it's so easy for us to just get back and then like want to get back to our full routine again. But sometimes it's just too much that can be just so overwhelming, especially when you haven't done your routine in a while. If you only fall off for like a week or less, then that might still be feasible for you. Kind of need to know yourself a little bit on this one. But for most people, it's best to start small, especially if you haven't done your routine in a long time or if you want to incorporate some new things in your routine. Start small, start with baby steps, and then build up from there. So if you really want to incorporate something new in your routine, just start with one thing, and then once that's established, then you can go to the next one, and then once those things are established, and then you can go to the next one. It'll be so much easier to build up slowly over time and master each one as they come, rather than putting so many in one go and then doing a little bit of everything. It's just not the smartest way to go about it. The next is to make a plan on what you want it to look like long term. Try to visualize your goal and try to see yourself really living it. So for instance, your goal is to start a new business, let's just say. Try to visualize in your head, what does it look like? What does my life look like when I have that new business? What is the life of somebody who has that specific kind of business I want? What does that look like? What are the characteristics of this person that makes them successful in running this specific kind of business that I want? So for instance, in your head, you try to visualize what you're going to look like. You're going to try to visualize your life. You're going to wake up early in the morning. You're going to start with a healthy meal first thing. You're going to read a book, things like that. So like try to have a vision of what this successful person in your head looks like, and it'll be easier for you to get inspired, to get motivated to be that person, because that is you. It's just you in the future. But to be able to get to that you in the future, you need to start acting like it now. And you're not going to get to that you in the future by continuing what you've been doing so far, because it's obviously not going to get you there. You need to start acting as if. That's what they call acting as if. And start acting like the person that you want to be. And then before you know it, you are that person already. Visualization is also really great for our brains, because our brains actually don't realize what is real, what is really happening, and what are things that we're just imagining. So like sometimes when we get anxious thoughts, when we have dreams, when we do visualizations, our brain doesn't really know the difference between those and real life. When a truck is coming at you in real life versus when a truck is coming at you in your anxious thoughts, your brain thinks it's just the same thing. So we can use that, we can utilize that by using visualization as a tool, as opposed to something that can deter us from getting our goals. So you can use visualization as a tool to help you get to your goals by repetition. This is why visualization is so helpful for so many people, and why so many people swear by it. Because their brains get conditioned to think that it's true, it's actually happening to them, even if they're actually just visualizing it. And in their brain doesn't know the difference. Their brain thinks it's actually happening, and so it's acting accordingly. It's processing information according to what it thinks is happening. And because your brain thinks that you're already there in your goal state, that's how it will start to act and start to process information. And the more that it does that, the more it's like an upward spiral. The more that it does that, the more useful information you will notice, your brain will notice, that will help you to get even closer to your goals. The next is to make it stick by giving yourself incentives. I think that this could be really helpful, especially during the times when you feel that it's being a little bit challenging to try to stick to your routine, to try to stick to your goals. Because maybe in the beginning you feel so motivated, you feel so inspired, you feel like, yes, let's do this, I can do this. And then 1 month later, you're still trying to do that. And then 6 weeks later, you're starting to, slow down, and you're starting to, like, your momentum that you gained starting to slow down, and you're feeling a little bit more defeated every day because you're not maybe seeing as much progress as you would want to see. This is especially great for that when you have incentives for yourself. So try to think about small things that you could incorporate that could help you to gain back momentum, and that can help incentivize you to go back to that routine and to encourage you to keep doing that routine and to keep sticking to that plan. For example, trying to work out every day. I know that some people, they love purchasing new yoga set, new yoga outfit for themselves when they feel a little bit like blah, so that they're feeling not so inspired anymore. Then a new outfit like suddenly gives them the nice new kick, that nice new motivation that they need to just get over the hump of feeling a little bit like low. Or you can also switch up your routine, your exercise routine, for instance, and try a new kind of exercise. If you've been doing yoga, try Pilates or try running, something like that. Switching it up can sometimes help as well. And the last one is to celebrate small wins. I am one of those people very guilty of not celebrating my wins because I'm a type A kind of person, and I'm admittedly one of those people who are like, okay, I have my goal, I work towards my goal, and then I reach it. Yay, nice, great for me.
Okay, next.
And then I'm like thinking about how I'm going to get to the next step, or how I'm going to get to the next goal, without properly recognizing how well I did in the first goal, and without properly celebrating myself for getting as far as I did, and for getting myself to this point where I've been working towards for weeks or for even months. And now I'm finally at this point, and I'm like trying to get to the next point already. Celebrate your wins no matter how small, and remember that it's not just about achieving your goals, but also about the journey to get there. And that brings us to the end of this video. I hope that you found this helpful and that it's given you some insights or a bit of a push to get yourself back on track. Let me know what you do on your reset days and what's been working for you when you need an extra nudge in the right direction. Don't forget to like this video if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. I wish you a great rest of the week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!